Hello students, welcome to the 15th online lecture for the subject of sociology. Dear students, we shall begin with a new chapter of your textbook, that is social stratification. First, let me explain to you what is the meaning of social stratification. Students, we all know that differentiation is the law of nature. Thus, differences also exist in human societies. Human society is not homogeneous alike, but it is heterogeneous that it varies. Men differs from one another in many respects. The body structure of human beings is same, but they differ in physical appearance, their intelligence, moral and mental abilities. Thus, we see that no two individuals are exactly alike. Differences and inequality are unavoidable in society. Hence, we observe that human society is everywhere stratified. The roles and privileges of children differ from those of adults. People differ from each other by age, sex, etc., and various other personal characteristics. All societies exhibit some system of hierarchy whereby its members are placed in positions that are higher or lower, superior or inferior in relation to each other. So, strictly speaking, there are no purely equalitarian societies. Thus, stratification is a vertical division of society into higher and lower units. Those people who are at the top will have more power, privilege, and prestige than those in the lower levels. All societies differentiate members in terms of roles, and all societies evaluate roles differently. Some roles are regarded as more important or socially more valuable than others. The people who perform more highly esteemed roles are rewarded more highly. So, we see that stratification is a process whereby some people come to rank higher than others. In every society, there is some system of hierarchy. Through the process of stratification, people are fixed in the structure of society. In certain cases, status may also become hereditary. People in one particular stratum tend to recognize each other as equal and those in other strata as being inferior or superior. Let's study some of the definitions of social stratification. According to Gisbert, social stratification is the division of society into permanent groups of categories linked with each other by the relationship of superiority and subordination. Some other definitions: social stratification is a horizontal division of society into higher and lower social units. A stratified society is one marked by inequality, by differences among people that are evaluated by them as being lower and higher. Origin of social stratification. There are two main theories concerning the origin of social stratification. According to Karl Marx, economic factors are responsible for the emergence of different social classes. Whereas Kingsley Davis has stated stratification system is universal. According to him, it has come into being due to the functional necessity of the social system. The main functional necessity is placing and motivating individual in the social structure. In this way, societies ensure that the most important positions are filled by the most qualified persons. The conflict theory of Marx focuses on conflict between large and stable groups. whereas the functional theory talks about the integrating function of social stratification based upon individuals' merit and rewards. Let us now move on to examine the characteristics of social stratification. Number one, social stratification is universal. Social stratification is found in every society. We cannot find a single human society which is not characterized by social stratification. Whether it is tribal, rural, or urban society, no society is free from social stratification. Society attaches different value and importance to different functions. Some functions require more education and skill than others. Therefore, people engaged in prestigious occupations and professions enjoy higher status in society. Every human society has certain type of division and differentiation. So we can say that social stratification is found everywhere, that is, it is universal or a worldwide phenomena. Example, difference between rich and the poor, haves and the have nots is seen everywhere. Even in the non literate societies, stratification is seen. Thus, all permanently organized groups are stratified. Number two, social stratification is social. Social stratification is social. It does not represent biologically caused inequalities. It is true that factors such as strength, intelligence, age, and sex can serve as a basis on which statuses are distinguished. But biological traits do not determine social superiority and inferiority unless and until they are socially recognized and given importance. Example, the manager of an industry attains a dominant position not by his physical strength or age but because of his socially defined traits. His education, training, skills, personality, character are more important than his biological qualities. The stratification system is thus governed by social norms and sanctions. It is connected closely with the other systems of societies, such as the political, family, religious, economic, educational, and other institutions. Number three, social stratification is ancient. The system of stratification is quite old. Stratification was present even in the small wandering bands. Age and sex were the main criteria of stratification at that time. The difference between rich and poor, powerful and humble, free men and slaves were there in almost all the ancient civilizations. Most of the philosophers like Plato and Kautilya have been deeply concerned with economic, social, and political inequalities. Number four, social stratification persists over generations. In almost all societies, parents confer their social status on their children. Thus, the pattern of inequality stays same from generation to generation. Number five, social stratification involves inequality. Any stratified system gives some people more resources. It also defines this arrangement as fair. The explanation for this inequality differs from society to society. Social stratification means vertical division of societies. The society is thus divided into unequal groups in their status and position. Just as a geologist finds layers in the earth, sociologist finds layers in social life. He finds that groups of people within a society are related to each other in unequal terms. Moreover, all the individuals are not the same. They are different in their physical and mental abilities. Some are gifted with more intelligence and abilities. Such people occupy high ranks in society. Others with less capacity occupy lower positions in the society. Example: the status of a menial worker and that of an executive. A principal of a school and his peon differs according to their ranking in the society. In this way, social stratification involves inequality in society. Number 6. Social stratification is consequential. Social stratification affects every aspect of life of an individual. Social life of an individual is affected because of his or her position in the social hierarchy. Example: in traditional India, if a person belonged to an untouchable caste, he or she was deprived of education. He or she had to engage in lowly occupation and had no right to enter temples. On the other hand, if an individual was born as a Brahmin, the person would enjoy a high social status and various privileges, like he would become a priest or a teacher, etc. Some individuals experience positive consequences while others face negative consequences. The system of social stratification leads to two main kinds of consequences. A. Life chances. Life chances refers to such things as infant mortality, physical and mental illness, childlessness, etc. B. Lifestyles. Lifestyles includes such matters as the mode of housing, residential area, one's education, means of recreation, magazines and TV shows to which one is exposed to, etc. So these were the characteristics of the social stratification system. Let us now see the functions of social stratification. Number 1. Encourages hard work. Social stratification is functional and positive to the society because it plays an important role in the continuity of the society. Because the members of a society are not equal, they become mutually dependent and cooperative. It encourages hard work. People are induced to work hard. They work hard to live up to the values of their own group. It opens up a career for the merited and the talented individuals. Hard work, prolonged training, and heavy burden of responsibilities are associated with highly important occupational positions. People undertaking such works are rewarded with money, prestige, comforts, etc. Number 2. Gives rise to competition. Social stratification gives rise to competition for higher status and position. Healthy competition is an indication of a healthy society. Without competition, a society can neither progress nor prosper. However, in a system of differential rewards, the scope of competition tends to be limited. Number 3. Prevents waste of resources. The stratification system prevents the waste of resources. The men in elite class actually possess scarce and socially valued abilities and qualities. Because of their possession of these qualities, their enjoyment of some privileges, such as extra comfort and immunity from doing menial work, are functionally justified. Negative side of social stratification. Social stratification also has a negative side to it. In any system of social stratification, highest rewards and privileges go to those who occupy top positions, and large number of people down below get very small amount of rewards and privileges. In simple societies, the social stratification is based more on the ascribed factors like age and sex, whereas in the modern society, it is based on achieving factors like wealth, knowledge, power, authority, etc. When there is too much inequality among the various strata of society, it may lead to conflict, not just competition and rivalry. This leads to disintegration of the society. The deprived sections fight against the social system and bring in changes to reduce the inequality. These are the disadvantages of the system of social stratification. Students, I would like to mention at this part that there are two types of stratification. Number one, closed stratification, and number two, open stratification. Let us study them in detail. Let us first understand what closed stratification means. Closed stratification is one in which the individuals or group do not enjoy the freedom of changing their social strata. The individual who gets social strata by birth can never change in his lifetime. In this type of social stratification, there is no scope for social mobility. The individuals or groups cannot move from one social strata to the other. Example, the Varna system in India is the example of closed stratification. One cannot change his position in the Varna system throughout his or her lifetime. In the Varna system, the Brahmins occupied the topmost position in the social hierarchy. They were the priest, followed by the Kshatriya, who were the warriors. The Vaishyas, that is, the merchants, were placed below the Kshatriyas. The Shudras were placed at the lowest level and performed menial tasks. Nobody could change their position in the social hierarchy under any circumstances. Number two, open stratification. Open stratification is one in which the individuals or groups enjoy the freedom of changing their social strata. In this type of stratification, there is scope for social mobility. Individuals or groups can move from one strata to another. The criteria of open stratification are power, property, intelligence, skills, etc. The class system in modern industrial society, that is the upper class, middle class, and lower class, is an example of open stratification. In the class system, the topmost position is occupied by the upper class, followed by middle class, and the lower class is placed at the bottom of the social hierarchy. With this, we come to the end of our lecture. We will continue with the same chapter in the next lecture. Thank you.